Hello everyone! In this YouTube channel, you hear a lot about interesting and beautiful destinations to visit in Lithuania, a small country located in the Baltic region of Europe. But what about a bit different locations with perhaps a little bit spookier backstories? Here's a special Halloween list of places to visit in Lithuania. The first place that gives me shivers when I visit is actually in the city center of Vilnius. It is Yishis Prison, one of the oldest prisons in the country, and it was operational until 2019. Some of the prisoners were held here for lifelong sentences as well. These days, the building is used for various cultural events, including a Christmas market. However, both the exteriors and interiors remain exactly the same as they were before. It's bizarre taking a walk through its corridors, sipping hot cocoa in between the cells where the most notorious criminals were kept. There are also special tours available. Yishis Prison was also featured in the 4th season of the TV series Stranger Things. That doesn't make it any less scary though. Another spooky place to visit is the forts in Kaunas. There are 9 of them, and some have extremely scary stories. The most well-known one is the Nymph Fort, which houses a museum dedicated to the bloody history of the forts during the Second World War and Soviet occupation. The giant monument outside is dedicated to more than 50,000 Jews killed there by Nazis. There still are bullet holes in some walls of the fort. The other forts are just as scary, if not scarier, especially the 4th and the 5th. These forts are not renovated, their underground corridors are dark, mysterious, inhabited by bats and possibly by some lost spirits. I don't think I would visit these places after dark. The next scary place looks quite idyllic from the outside. It's a lovely small castle by the lake built in the 16th century in Ukmergė district. However, Siesiki Castle holds quite a sinister story behind its doors. The story goes like this. One of the dukes of Daumantai, who lived in the castle, had a wife named Halška Daumantienė. She fell in love with a foreign knight, whom she used to meet in the moonlight by the lake. But her husband Daumantas found out about it. Filled with anger, he bricked her up within the walls of the tower. Even to this day, the locals say that in the moonlight, the Duchess descends from the tower to the lakeside, waiting for her knight. From here we go to a much bigger mansion, Pakro Manor. Today this place is one of the most famous manor houses with a hotel and offering a variety of entertainment options. But back in the old days, the masters of the manor, the barons von Ropp, were known for engaging in less than elegant activities. Hermann von Ropp, nicknamed Hermann the Cruel, ruled the manor in the 19th century, and he was infamous for his cruel treatment of the peasants who worked for him. During the recent renovations, a punishment room was discovered, containing various torture equipment. Another peculiar hobby of the von Ropp family can be seen in their collection displayed in the Cabinet of Curiosities. The manor had its in-house doctor and even a hospital, where various anatomical anomalies were collected, along with other rare, occult or exotic objects. All of these places can be visited today, and there are even excursions available. There is also a smaller manor house near Pakruojas, with a very bloody legend behind it. Yishis Manor has one of the largest manor parks in Lithuania, surrounded by tall, old trees. But once you hear a story about this park, it's no longer pleasant to walk through it. The legend says that when the owner wanted to establish the park back in the 18th century, the trees struggled to grow and died out. He hired a new steward, who advised him to water the land with the blood of 9 boys and 9 girls. As he did that, the trees started to grow, oaks for boys and lindens for girls. But the parents of the poor children cursed the man, and after he died, his soul became trapped in the park until those trees would disappear. Locals claim that during the thunderstorm at night, his face appears in the park, begging for the lightning to strike and burn the trees. Only then will he be freed from his fate. It's time to visit one of the most mysterious places in the country, the Hill of Crosses in Šiauliai district. This place is filled with around 200,000 crosses and is actually meant to be a place of hope. Anyone can bring their own cross with a wish, and people have been doing so since the 19th century. However, it is probably not the most comforting place to be, especially after dark when surrounded by thousands of crucifixes with Jesus on them. Quite the opposite of the religious hill of crosses is a hill of witches. And yes, we have both in Lithuania. In Neringa region near the sea, there is a hill full of various scary wooden sculptures. People believe that witches used to gather and have feasts on top of this hill. Local artists took the idea and created an entire gallery of wooden sculptures featuring scary witches, devils, various monsters, pagan gods, and more. It is an interesting place for a walk, and if you want an extra creepy factor, go there at night. Lithuania just loves legends about witches, so let's explore another location where witches enjoy gathering: the Witches' Fir Tree. It's not very hard to figure out where the name comes from. Just have a look at that tree. It is one of the most impressive trees in the country. It is around 170 years old, and I definitely didn't feel comfortable walking around there. The forest somehow felt darker too. Although the legend is quite funny, it is said that a long time ago the local witches would gather here, stick their brooms into the ground, and go to seduce the local men. One witch fell in love with one of the young men and forgot to take her broom. When she finally came to pick it up, it had already sprouted with greenery. Okay, enough of witches, let's go see some devils! There is a special place in Kaunas where you can see devils from all over the world, the Devil Museum. Yes, that's right, there is a museum dedicated to devils. It started as a personal collection of Antanas Žmuidzinavičius, a renowned Lithuanian painter, and later grew to a large collection of devils from different cultures worldwide, each with its own unique stories that you can get to know in the museum. And last but not least, let's visit one more house, this time in Palanga. This charming wooden house is called Villa Annapolis, which, when translated to English, means the villa of the overworld or afterlife. A very fitting name for a place that is known for having ghosts. The villa was owned by Countess Sofia Tiškevičienė in the 19th century. It was believed that the Countess had a secret room with mirrors in the attic, where she held spiritism seances to communicate with the spirits of the departed. The locals also said that whenever they passed by the house, they would hear strange organ music coming from the house. And actually, during the recent renovation of the house, the builders found wind organ instruments in the tower. However, those who had spent the night in the house say we heard various strange noises and we were feeling as though we were being watched the entire time. And on that note, enjoy Halloween and thanks for watching!